Well, today, Tuesday, was a very interesting day. I hope everybody actually made their votes. Everything counts at this moment. But however, we're not going to talk about that since it's Tuesday wrestling and it's already after midnight, so it should be Wednesday. So let's talk about AEW Dark and Impact Wrestling on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, all promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I am your host J Rod here. So let's get started with AEW Dark. Now, once again, AEW Dark went another over 2 hours this time with a very stack of matches. Now, this is one of those match events you have to pay attention because mostly we've been seeing the top stars versus jobbers or jobbers versus jobbers or top stars versus top stars. However, it's been the scenario with this entire time. So let's start with the first match. First match is Bishop King versus Darby Allin. Now, this is one of those matches, like I said, is jobber versus top star, since we know Darby Allin is the top star and Bishop King is the jobber. But as we all know, Jobber never wins their matches, so it's Darby Allin who won this match, as always, with the confident drop. But he is keeping his eye out on the outside, knowing that he has heat coming his way, thanks to Team Taz, inconsistent with the human suplex, Taz, Brian Cage, and, of course, Ricky Starks. The next match is a women's tag team match. We have the legit Layla Hirsch and Elena Black versus Red Velvet and Brandy Rhodes. Now, this is the first time these two have teamed. There have been on various occasions where we have seen where Brandy helped Red Velvet when Anna Jay tried to hurt her, and Anna Jay tried to do the same thing with Brandy. So it was a very favor. So basically, we're now seeing that Red Velvet could be taking under Brandy's wing to learn more with her. I'm not sure if she will be part of the Nightmare family, since it appears that she could be heading there. But it was a good match, I'm not going to lie. But of course, it ended with, Red Velvet and Brandy Rhodes taking the victory. I'm not saying it's one of the best matches. I know that there has been criticism with the women's division in AEW, so we're not going to get into that anyway. The next match is a tag team match. We have the return of Danny Limelight teaming up with Casey Navarro versus Jurassic Express members Jungle Boy and, of course, Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt being in their corner. Now, this is one of those matches that kind of become interesting. I have been a fan of Danny Limelight for a couple years now. I think since October of 2018. But him getting in this match is kind of interesting. I know there are fans out there who know him are saying that AEW should sign him. I mean, why not? But it was good. My favorite moment is when Luchasaurus had him a choke slam or something, but somehow he flipped him over and hit him with the knee. That is something I was like, dang, that you don't see every day. But of course, as always, Jurassic Express picked up the victory on this one. The next match we have Ryzen versus Frankie Kazarian. One of those jobber versus top star matches. Of course, I can skip ahead on this one. It's Frankie Kazarian who won this match, but however, post match, he was attacked by the Hybrid 2. As you know, it appears that now there's going to be a feud with SCU members, Kazarian and Daniels versus the Hybrid 2. The Hybrid 2 has becoming the most aggressive team. Now they targeted SCU. As you know, SCU members are the top veterans in the wrestling business, and the Hybrid 2 are trying to overthrow them out, knowing that it's a young man's game type of scenario. And of course, while hybrid to attack Kazarian. Here comes Christopher Daniels to make the save. But this looks like we may see this feud continue. It doesn't matter if it's going to be in Dark or in Dynamite. So it could go either way. But we'll just see how that goes. The next match, we have another jobber top star match. We have Dave Dutra versus Absolute Ricky Stark. I don't need to tell you guys that that ended with Ricky Starks actually pulling off the Rochambeau move on Dutra, and post match he ended up being in commentary for the entire time, from some point of the time that he was in it. Next match, we have another tag team match. We have Sean Maluda and Alex Chambers versus Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman. Now, we have seen Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. Uh, won their first victory as a tag team a couple of weeks ago. That was one of those matches where it brings recognition. We're not sure if AEW has an interest in signing Griff Garrison, but Brian Pillman Jr., that's a different story. As you know, he is part of MLW. Now, Brian Pillman stated that he wants out of his contract with MLW. I'm not sure if he will be able to, but we do know that Davey Boy Smith Jr. is still with MLW, even though he also wants out. But enough of that from the MLW stuff. But let's just keep continuing. But the match was great. I'm not gonna lie about that. But however, it ended with again in the predicting that makes this 2-0 for them as a second win for them. Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman picked the victory. But however, it did not last. They were attacked by Lance Archer, even though they weren't the only ones that were attacked too. So there's Maluda and Chamberlain. But this was a match. This thing with Lance Archer comes out. He sets out a message to Eddie Kingston. Now, as you all know, Eddie Kingston keeps blabbering and bragging, claiming that he was never eliminated and claiming he never tapped out. Lance Archer doesn't care what he has to say. He can go on and say that, but it won't change nothing. But he did state it doesn't matter if Moxley retained the title or Kingston wins the title. Everyone dies. So basically, it would make no difference for Lance Archer to whoever he's going to face to gain the AEW World Championship. So that's what's been happening. Next match, we have another tag team. This one is a very interesting one. We have Angel Fashion and Eric Solo versus Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. Now, this is one of those jobbers versus jobbers type of matches, but we have seen some of these guys make their appearances with AEW Dark ever since the pandemic. But I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm going to skip ahead. Um, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster won the match. However, it's later been revealed that they are now signed with AEW. So they're now all elite. Now, you may ask yourselves, why would they sign them anyway? I mean, they're not well known. That is true. AEW is trying to find some good talent that fans could enjoy, because a lot of these talent people expect like the big time wrestlers that we know, that would join, kind of like Moxley, FTR, many others. But that's the reason. So, because of their victory, it just proven that these guys are now all elite, both Bowens and Caster. So, congratulations, guys. Now, the next match is VSK versus Allen 5 Angels of the Dark Order. This proved more. They're giving Angels five more of a singles competition. I have to say that they're really giving them a really good push as a singles competitor. So I can't wait to see where they're gonna go with it. But he did pick up the victory on this one. But of course, we'll see how that goes. And we're not sure if he will be on getting more of the single competition or tag team in Dynamite. So we'll see in the upcoming weeks and months on this one. Then we had a little video thing that they posted. Peter Avalon, as you know, he has suffered his first loss. And of course, he kicked out Leva Bates out of his life. Somehow he started meeting this mystery woman that no one knows who she is. I cannot predict. I'm not sure exactly if this is a brand new star that's coming in to AEW. Sometimes I like to keep, or this is just a storyline that Peter Avalon wants to post it. I'm not sure, but yeah. Next we have is another tag team match. We have the Jersey Muscle versus the Butcher and the Blade. Um, Jersey Muscle, they were in AEW Dark a couple weeks ago with Danny Limelight, which they were unsuccessful to beat Jurassic Express. But however, you know for a fact with guys like the Jersey Muscle will definitely lose against Butcher and the Blade, and that's what happened. Post match, out of nowhere, here comes the Natural Nightmares getting revenge for what Eddie Kingston did, trying to play a little mind games with what's going on with Ali, betraying QT, all this. So this is going to be an interesting feud to see in the upcoming weeks. I don't think this is going to take place in Full Gear, but we'll pay attention to what's going to happen. Next match is D3 versus Will Hobbs. Now, in the entire time this match, Taz has been still waiting for the word of Will Hobbs. Will he join Team Taz? He wants him in. But however, because he hasn't given a response yet, you had Ricky Starks and Brian Cage make their attack on him, but all of a sudden Darby Allin made the save in order to do that, and even though it irritates Taz that happened, so that's how it went down with that. But there's still no word if Hobbs is going to give his final decision whether he will join Team Taz or not. It's still open air for that one. Next match, we have another tag team match. We have Baron Black with Nick Komoroto versus Dark Order members Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. Now you can say Dark Order won this one. Yes, as always, by pulling off the fatality, as always. So basically, you've been seeing the Dark Order on this one being dominant, but this is not the last time you see the Dark Order. So this is one of the three matches that they were involved in Dark. I'm not sure if what role they're gonna play for tomorrow for Dynamite. Can't wait to see that. Next match it's a 6-man. We have Sean Dean, Caesar Bononi, and Fuego del Sol versus Dark Order members John Silver, Colt Cabana, and 10. Much of this match, John Silver has been showing a bit of a different attitude. Basically, he served as a distraction in being this very small, big guy who can lift people up. It's kind of like what bodybuilders do. But it's an interesting push how they're giving him the recognition, even though he's always been slapped around by Brody Lee on several occasions. But of course, because of that, it allowed them to pick up their victory against Dean, Bononi, and Fuego. Now, the next match is a women's match. We have Lady Tapa versus Kylan King. Now, this is another interesting matchup because normally we have always seen unknown wrestlers. If you guys don't follow them, this is, I'm not sure if this is the beginning for Kylan King to be recognized as a wrestler that could serve a purpose for AEW. We've seen her on multiple occasions on Dark, being in matches, But if that's the case that they're doing, paying attention to Kylan King, then we'll just have to wait and see what decision is going to be in the upcoming weeks or months on this one. But however, Leah Tappan has been around in many occasions. I've seen her before, but I just can't put my finger to it. Good match, but however, not the best. But however, Kylan King actually picked up the victory. I think this might be her first victory. I'm not sure. I just got to look back on this one. Now, the next match we have is a tag team. We have Project Chaos, consistent of Serpentico and Luther versus Private Party. As always, this is a good match. I'm not going to lie. This is one of the matches I did enjoy watching on AEW Dark, seeing Project Chaos and Private Party. Great match. Private Party picked up the victory on this one. I have to say I give this one a pass, since I'm a fan of tag team. Then has been announced, if you guys been aware or not, AEW has a video game coming out soon. So get ready for that. You can subscribe on the social media on this AEW Games. It's still no word if when the video game is going to come out. Now, the main event, we have Lee Johnson versus Sammy Guevara. Now, we do know Sammy is scheduled to be teaming with Ortiz to face off MJF and Wardlow. So this is the first time we see him versus Lee Johnson. Now, if you guys don't know this, Lee Johnson has now been officially a member of the Nightmare family. So I think they're giving him. I think they're now about to pay attention that he will get a good push. If you guys don't know this, not too long ago he was in a match against his mentor, QT Marshall, at the Nightmare Factory. So we may see that coming up. But of course, in this match, Sammy always wins his matches on this type. So, and then that's how it ends with AEW Dark. So let's move on with Impact Wrestling. Okay, so it's been a week now since the last Impact Wrestling uh, on Access TV took place. The real question is becoming, who shot Johnny E. Bravo? So basically, no one knows what's going on. The more received word that Johnny Bravo is in stable condition, but he's been put on an induced coma. But however, Tommy Dreamer, who I like to refer now as Sherlock's Dreamer, so he's going to conduct an investigation to find out who shot Bravo. So I can't wait to see how. So let's talk about the whole thing from start to finish on this one. Now, first match of the night, it was for the Impact Knockouts Championship between Deonna Purrazzo and Su Yung. As you know, in Bound for Glory, there was no sign of Kylie Ray, and it later was switched to Su Yung, who is the one person who accepted this open challenge by Deonna Purrazzo. Now, some of you, if you guys know this or not, you ask yourselves, what happened to Kylie Ray? Well, if you guys saw my previous episode that on the news update, it was revealed that Kylie Ray once again is retiring from wrestling. Now, please don't start speculating what's going on or anything. Is this is not the first time something like this happened with Kylie Ray. If you guys hadn't forgotten, she did something similar to AEW. She only did one show. We don't know if there's something wrong with her, or there was a theory that she might have been suffering with some sort of pressure that they were putting on her shoulders. I'm not sure. It's no one's fault, but things happen like this. But however, they did put Su Yung. Now, last week, in the aftermath of Bound for Glory, Deonna Purrazzo was filing a lawsuit against Impact for what happened because they believed that Su Yung making appearance was an invalid. So, uh, Scott D'Amore gave her a choice. Either you face her like you said you claim to be the best technical wrestler, or 5 years of lawsuits. So basically, she took the offer. But however, this match did not go exactly according to plan for Deonna Purrazzo. Kimberly, who's been on her side, pulled out a chair to ensure that Deonna actually won the match. But however, Su Yung saw the chair and used it against both Deonna and Kimberly. But however, it ended with a disqualification, allowing Deonna Purrazzo to pick up the victory, but however, having Su Yung to retain the title. So basically, it went on to another twisted thing that it's going to be mentioned later on in the episode. Now, as you know, Keith's contract was something I don't know. I didn't see the whole thing. I think there was something that might have gone wrong. But however, Heath is still injured after what happened at Bound for Glory at the Collar Shot Gauntlet. So we just got to wait and see what happens. But however, I did mention about Deonna Purrazzo. Her attorney shows up saying that what happened was unfair. But, of course, D'Amore, who's the smartest person I know, decided to play a little stipulation here. He believes that, yes, you're right, it should not have happened. So he decided that she's going to give Deonna Purrazzo another opportunity, but this time at Turning Point in a no disqualification match. So basically, anything go. So basically, for the attorney, it's like saying, okay, it's kind of messed up. But however, the attorney doesn't realize it's a no disqualification match. Basically, Kimberly can help out. So That's the way I see it when it comes to disqualification matches. Now, in the back seat, in the backstage, Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards are set to team up to face off against Sammy Callahan and Eric Young. This is like two lifelong friends. They've known each other for many years, and now they get to team up. So it's going to be a good match. Now, the next match we have is Chris Bay versus Trey Miguel, two of the men who participated in that six-way scramble match. Now, you can ask yourself, out of all the people who participated, who should be continuing to face Rohit Raju, even though Raju does not want to face them? In my opinion, I don't think it matters at the point. You do look at Chris Bay, very talented. You see a young, hungry Trey Miguel who wants the X Division Championship, but there's more people that would want that title. So that's the way I see it. But however, who won this match? Chris Bay, as always. I was amazed when he pulled out the cutter on him, and it was so amazing. I love it. So Chris Bay picked up the victory. Now, for a while, we haven't seen the Locker Room Talk hosted by Madison Rain, so she brought out two special guests. One, Jordan Grace, and Tennille Dashwood. As you know, ever since the announcement took place about the Knockouts Tag Team Division, it appears that those two, both Jordan and Tennille, need partners. Now, do we see them as partners? I don't know. That all depends on how the reaction is. Jordan Grace does not appreciate Tennille Dashwood's behavior, who's not we haven't seen for a while, so that's how it happened. But however, Jordan Grace was being a bitch around Tennille Dashwood, but that's how it is because Tennille Dashwood says it's all about her. Now, continuation with the Dreamer investigation. So he interrogated several people. He interrogated the ref, who reminded him that Johnny Bravo said some things to him regarding into the best man match between Swinger and Fallah Bahh. So he was most likely a suspect. But the next person they interrogated, it was supposed to be Cody Deaner, but Johnny Swinger made the decision to jump ahead of him, saying that he needs to get that out of the way before their match. Turns out those two idiots have to be in the same match. But Dreamers was about to say, match that. Nope. Nope. Not this time. So they just told him, just go to your matches, return here, we still got. So that's how it ended with that. So there's still more to come on the investigation on who shot Johnny E. Bravo. Now, the next thing we see is an interesting promo by Rohit Raju. As you know, Rohit Raju has been somehow dominant, becoming the Weasel, claiming that he won victories, that he wants a new challenger to face for his title. But however, he does not want to face TJP, who comes out. TJP did make some compelling arguments. He has wrestled when he was a kid. He was selling out arenas in Mexico. He even was in part the best of the Super Juniors in New Japan. He's been cruiserweight champion. So he felt that Rohit Raju did not put on the work, that he is not a wrestler, that he is. But of course, Rohit Raju doesn't give a damn what he has to say. He doesn't care about the work. All that matters is that he won the title, that TJP is nothing more than a has-been. But of course, TJP just tossed him hot tea into his face. So this became a rivalry. Now, when this whole melee between them was over, they took it upon to talk to D'Amore. So D'Amore gave them a good opportunity. Next week, it's going to be for the X Division Championship. But the stipulation is this. If TJP does not win the X Division champion, he will not get another title opportunity as long as Rohit Raju is still champion. So basically, the pressure is on him now in order to win the match. So D'Amore did state this match will be fair. So, however, but there's still more people that want to stab him in the back for this. Next thing we have is a match like between both members of the North and, of course, the Good Brothers. As you know, Ethan Page thinks he's a smartass, but you cannot fool the Good Brothers. The match was good. I'm not going to say it was bad. I like seeing this match, but however, Josh Alexander got in the way, disqualifying themselves to allow Doc Gallows to win the match, but The war between both Page and between the North and the Good Brothers is far from over. As you know, Ethan the North has always claimed that they are the best tag team in the world since they were the longest reigning champions. So that's we'll see what happens from there. Now, there was an interview between Brian Myers, who's still upset over the loss that he had against Tommy Dreamer. But however, here comes Swoggle, who felt betrayed by Myers after the events of what happened at the Collier shots. He thought they were still friends, but he stabbed him in the back. But it's already been confirmed that these two will face off at Turning Point. Yeah, Swoggle versus Brian Myers. I can't wait to see that. Now, the match between Swinger and Cody Deaner is very, very interesting. As you know, Johnny Swinger thinks he's cocky. He thinks he's better than everyone. And somehow he weaseled his way to win the match by having something heavy in his little fanny pack, allowing the victory. But of course, if it was me, I would kick his ass. Now, the next promo we have is Moose. Now, as you all know, Moose has now turned to the dark side. He comes out giving a very interesting. He felt that no one is taking him seriously because he is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Now, he's saying that no one cares about or taking him serious because of the title. However, he thinks that the Impact World title is nothing but the second best title. To be honest with you, this is how what we people has been saying. The TNA this title doesn't mean nothing. It's not prestige. It's not even active. He claims that he won that title fair and square. That he beat Ken Shamrock, Rhino, many people who held that title, believing that he is the true champion. But however, he does not. He congratulated Rich Swann on his victory. But however, he doesn't believe he is the true champion. That it's nothing but the second best. But of course, his feud with Willie Mack continues on after what happened last week, where he was ambushed by Moose. So we may see those two face off, but this time it has nothing to do with the TNA World title, even though I don't think Willie Mack has an interest in the title, but Moose will say it has something to do with it. But no, it doesn't. He's going to get it twisted in his head. Now, back to backstage. Rich Swann, who's now the current and the new Impact World champion, gets a visit from Chris Bay. Now, I don't know what Chris Bay was thinking. He must have misinterpreted what he was trying to say to Rich Swann. As you know, it sounded like he wants a title shot against Rich Swann, but when he was already leaving for his match with Eddie Edwards, Chris Bay was mostly interested in how can I get my my title back. He was referring to the X Division. So basically, as you know, he was conned by Rohit Raju to obtain it. So if I was Chris Bay, I try to make a move to ensure Rohit loses to TJP. If that was me in his shoes, that's how I would see it. Now, Sherlock Dreamer has finally pinpointed to 10 individuals responsible for who shot John E. Bravo. Now, amongst the suspects, they pointed out to here's the 10: Tail Valkyrie, Rosemary, Cody Deaner, Father James Mitchell, Falabal, Hernandez, Larry D, Havoc, Johnny Swinger, and the ref. Now, Swinger Mitchell comes out saying that you guys all know me. I'm an angel. But you're like, what? You're the devil. Oh, pardon me. So basically, he thought he can get away with saying that he is, in fact, an angel. So basically, that's the same thing with Tail Valkyrie. So all these 10 guys are now the prime suspect who is shot. Now, my money, who shot Bravo, has to be Hernandez. Because thanks to Falabal for opening his mouth. That's how I see it. Now, it's slobber knocker time. It's the main event between Sami Callihan and Eric Young versus Eddie Edwards and Rich Swann. I have to say it was a really good match. As you know, Eddie Edwards and Rich Swann known each other for years. They have common enemies. As you know, it was Eric Young who beat Eddie Edwards for the Impact title. And of course, it was Sami Callihan who had a tense rivalry with Eddie Edwards, and he had an old friend roommate friendship with Rich Swann. So it was a little twisty story. It was it was good. I did like the moment when they put both these men to submission. Eric Young was about to tap out, but Callahan didn't do that. He did not want him to tap out. But however, things were going exactly according to plan for Eddie Edwards to pick up the victory. But however, they missed one person. That person is none other than the most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock. He made sure that Callahan and Young won. But however, we do see these guys as the most dangerous individuals. Could we see them as a faction down the line? Maybe. But we'll just wait and see in the upcoming weeks in Impact with this before we get to Turning Point. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. And for the next episode, I'm going to tell you guys I'm going to review for the first time ever the entire event of Dragon Gate, the Gate of Destiny, which is one of their annual events that they do. There's a lot of things. I just gotta rewatch the event, and then after that, I got the Wednesday Night War between AEW and NXT, and hopefully we get closer and closer to Power Struggle. And for the discussions, I'm still working on the Hold Never. I've been saying that months over, but I've been held back with all of this for the time being. But I will make an effort to it to start the discussions on that. So I think, like I said, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. If there's anything you think I might have missed that I must have interpreted or whatever, leave a comment down below. So I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.